Hello everybody, my name is Veladam01 and welcome back to the next episode of City Skylines East of the Curtain, my former Eastern Bloc city building series. Sorry about that, there was no episode last weekend, but I had to travel to Germany, France and Italy, so I cannot record it because I wasn't at home. So, what I want to do in this episode is I just want to build some public transportation for the city. I want to build a tram line which connects this retail area which I built in the previous episode, and it goes on this avenue, goes past this residential area. Yes, I know that it might be too far from the residential area, and connects to this road and takes a left turn, and then here takes a right turn on this main road and just goes through the downtown and terminates somewhere around here, or maybe just go into a future suburb on the other side of the town. So it's just basically a cross city tram. And yeah, I know that it might be too far away from this housing estate which I built here, but in my city we have actually a tram which literally just terminates right outside on the edge of a housing estate, a high densely populated area, and instead of just going into the housing estate which would make more sense. But yeah, in my country you don't have to see what is making sense or what doesn't make sense. And also it sounds a little bit interesting or weird that a tram doesn't go straight forward on a completely straight avenue, on a completely straight road. It just goes and turns left or right in a crossroad. In my town we also have one like this, where it just goes into a big highway like road, like a fast road where no buildings around it, just a connection road, or I don't know how they talk it, but at the intersection it just goes to a right, which wouldn't make so sense, but it will actually go to a train station on the end of that road, that crossroad, so it will make more sense, but still looks weird that it just doesn't go straight forward at that intersection. Okay, so what I want to do first is I just want to build the tram tracks before I build anything, and for this I want to use bi-directional trams in the city, because in my city where I live, we use bi-directional trams, which is a kind of a rare in the former Eastern Bloc cities, because when I was visiting other cities in the former Eastern Bloc area, what I found that they are actually using single direction trams, and my city just uses bi-directionals, which is kind of weird. Why? But I think bidirectional trams are more practical than single directionals, because they can just go into two direction and they just terminate at the last stop, and they just turn around and don't have to build a loop for them. So yeah, and also have two doors, so they can just take the passengers off on both sides. So this is why I just find the use of bidirectional trams practical than the single directional, because you don't have to waste the city's space for the loop to turn the trams around. Okay, so what my plan is to just use these class roads of trams where I can use. The end station will be a center platform station, but in the suburbs area, like in the outside of the city, I will just use the single platform, the side platform tram stop road. I don't think there will be as many passengers in the downtown, so you can just make this like why they just don't use the one side of the platform instead of blocking the two sides. So, and also I will just connect up this road to the tram road, because I don't want the citizens to make a whole like of round going around. They will just have a direct access to the road. and also upgrading this road because I want to just make it unified, and I also don't think that I will use a median here because this is the road with the median, so I will just use a medianless road here. And let's just connect up this tram line to this road, and this is the part where I will just switch to the center platforms roads, center platform tram roads, because in the downtown I actually want to make this a all stops into the center platform, to the center of the road, because there will be more passengers and they will need space, so they will just be able to use all spaces on the between the tracks. And this road here, this is the main road. You will see that it goes just straight out of the city. I want to keep this as a 6-lane road with. I want to keep this as a 6-lane road because there will be a lot of traffic here in the future, so I will just prepare this road for it. And I will use this 6-lane road with dedicated. Oh, not this. This. Because this is the central platform version. This is the side platform version. So 8-lane avenue road with tram. And yeah, it says 8 lanes, but it is actually just 6 lanes because you will see 6 lanes for car and other road vehicles, while there are 2 lanes for trams. So 6 and 2 is 8. But I think it is just still a 6-lane road for trams. Still a 6-lane road. And yeah, but I will use only on this segment of the main road, because in the downtown I will just use a standard 2-lane road. So let's just upgrade this road all around the place, and come on, please don't lag, thank you. For some reason the game is slowing down. Maybe because there are a lot of cars parking on this area and the game just needs to recalculate where the cars that park here should go, so maybe this is why the game just slows down. But yeah, it's a kind of annoying that I cannot do anything about it. And I will just let the tram terminate here with again a turnaround track, like a reverse track. Okay, now we are done with the tram tracks. Let's build the depot somewhere. And what I was thinking, that I will just build the depot here. I will just surround the area in a moment. Come on, please don't lag, thank you. So I will just surround an area with roads. And yeah, I fucked up. Take that filter off, okay. So I will just surround this area in this here like this, and this will be our playground where I will just build the depot. What I want to do here is I just want to use warehouses for the depot, and not these kind of industry DLC warehouses, but Avanias warehouses, especially these 2 big ones like this and the small. Not the modern versions, because I don't think they look good for a tram depot. And also for the measurements I will just put down some tram cars. These kind of Tatra T3 tram cars. One with the pantograph on, one with pantograph off, and one with pantograph on again. And I want to make them like a triple, because what I want is I want to make them like the tram depot can fit at least 3 cars attached to each after, and I want to store these like this, that they are able to fit, like as I said, at least 6 tram cars attached after each other. So because this is a bigger tram depot. And let's just assume that this kind of creation that you see here is, let's just assume this fits in the depot. And for the depot, for the actual depot, I'm going to use this block service, the cube service building with the tram depot built in. I don't know who made that asset, and I don't want, and also the asset creator's name is kind of a unpronounceable for me, because first I don't even know who made this, I cannot remember the name, and second it's like unpredictable, I'm not able to pronounce it because it's kind of a meh for me as an Eastern European, so yeah, it's kind of a interesting. Okay, so some measurements again, and okay, this will be good. So let's just put down 4 of this kind of tram depot asset. Okay, so game is about to die again. And let's just connect up with this kind of elite tram tracks made by Street Lamp, or yeah, I think it was actually Street Lamp who made this kind of elite tram tracks. They are simply just called ETT. No, they are elite tram tracks, not just the abbreviation, but the full. They are just, he just made the asset name the complete elite tram tracks, so not just the abbreviation of like ETT. And also let's just make extension of this track like this, because it will just make my job more easy. And let's just create this tram depot network with some node controller, because I'm kinda annoyed by that the tracks cannot fit the large warehouse doors, so I will just make this like go 1.5 meter outside, or 2, just 1.5, and also with minus and plus signature. You know what, I will just copy and paste the value like 1.5, and I will just, come on, let me select it, thank you. I will just copy and paste the value and just add the signature, the minus or plus sign with this, with the copy and paste, so yeah. And we are done. Okay, so, oh no, we are not done yet, sorry. We have to treat the depot also with the building spawn points mod, because it will just actually fuck up everything you can imagine. Because when I first built this design, it was just didn't want to work, because the building spam points for the trams just got the trams confused, and they just wandering all around the place like a rat or something, so it was just not working as I intended. So I had to treat this asset with some building spawn points, and after you treat it, it will going to work like was intended, but still an annoying thing that you have to treat the asset and set the spawn point like this. Okay, let's just make this kind of side access for the tram depot with this kind of smaller warehouses, and cover up all these impropers, like these minor catenaries just on the side of the depot, so it won't be visible. For this side I am going to use some other technique for getting rid of the annoying aspects, so don't be afraid. But for now, let's just make the storage area for the tram depot, where the tram company, the transport company, just stores the trams when they are not on the duty. And for this I am going to use the parking lot road, because I want to test a thing out which I want to use, and I want to test it if it works. So the plan is I will just use the intersection marking tool, the intersection marking tool mod, to set up some track areas, and I will use, because I downloaded some decorative networks, this kind of tram tracks, vanilla tram tracks from the workshop. These were made by Pasta Gaming. Sorry if I pronounce the name wrong. So what you should do is raise the track up a little bit, like this. And these are decorative tram tracks, so it will not be usable. Trams won't use it, but it is perfect to drop the trams on it, like they are just stored there as props when they are not on duty. So it's kind of a detailing for the asset. And I tested out it first. I tested this out off recording, and it kind of worked, but still wasn't satisfied it, so I hope that in the video I can make it look like better, because I want to use this in the series. And yeah, I know, it is kind of annoying that you have to do this by hand, and a lot of time consuming, because you cannot copy and paste the rules between the intersection marking tool lanes or road lines. Or wait a second, I think I can actually just copy the rules. So okay, let's just test it out. Okay, I can. Okay, I didn't say that. Okay, let's just assume that I didn't say that you cannot copy and paste the rules. And even if I don't mess up, it is going to work. So now we have a nice tram yard right outside of the depot, where you can just put the trams when they are off duty, not on the work. So I'm going to just save a copy from this road before I go into further detailing of the depot, in case if it's going to get messed up, because I don't want the project to mess up. And let's just make a small connection to this road, and let's see if I can make the tram lanes a little bit more. No, it's not going to work. Okay, looks like it's not going to work as I thought. This is why you should make a copy of your network when you are playing City Skylines with Move It, as you see. And also, I'm just going to make a copy of the rules, the markings, in case if it gets fucked up again. So let's just get this again, like this, and Control L and paste markings, correct, paste markings, correct. So this is where you can just store the trams when they are not in duty. And let's just assume that I left some tram lanes which are not connected here, because maybe they are just technical services, like unconnected rail tracks or tram tracks, because you know, when the trams are just lifted from the tracks to make some, you know, maintenance or something. So I'm just going to connect the inner lanes with the tram tracks. And for the middle lanes, I'm going to connect them in every direction. Okay, now copy the rule, Control L, Copy the rule, copy rule, and paste the rule set. Okay. And also don't forget to do this on the other side. But I will just copy the whole intersection for this because I don't want to just mess around with the copying and pasting. So yeah. And done. So now we have a not functional but also like a nice area for the trams to be stored. I think I will also do some median like concrete wall between the tram tracks for the drivers to just walk around the area when they are just getting off the duty, finish the duty. Also I will just use node controller for this area a little bit. We are nice, we are done. So let's just convert these trams all here into procedural objects because they are actually glowing in the night if they are not converted into procedural objects. And let's just make them a little bit more like a tram train, you know, the tram attached to each other. And let's just populate and decorate this area in the middle, but not now because I will just make this place a little bit more okay, because at the moment it's just like a middle of nowhere and I'm not so satisfied how it looks, because I want to make this like want this side and this side equal distance from the roads, like this side equal distance from this road, then as it is equal distance from that road. So it's just completely in the middle. And I will also put down some office for the tram drivers and the tram company right next to the depot to have some administration, or I don't know how you call it. This is actually an office building made by Meister Monis, a nice workshop guy who made the East German Plattenbau assets for the housing estate, or not for this housing estate, especially for this housing estate, but I used that asset, and this was also made by the same guy. And I'm just trying to figure out which color should I use for the yellow. I will just use the yellow color because in my hometown, in my town where I live, the trams are yellow. They are colored yellow. So this will be like the most accurate for my town. Okay. And also let's just connect up the two sides of the depot by these elite tram tracks. And what I want to do is also some maybe transport, maybe some electrical substation, you know, the transformators for depot to have some transport, to have some electricity for the trams. So I will just use the Revo's electricity relay stations. They were made for heavy rail, but I can use them in the tram depot as well, so they will look nice. So these are the stations, the substations, which are just serving the tram with power to run on. Okay, now after I finished the depot, and I think I accidentally forgot to connect the depot to the network, the tram network, so I will just do it right now. So after finished building the depot, let's just make our first tram line in the city. So let's just put down the tram stops all around the city I want to have a tram stop at every important intersection. Well, not this, because it will just be here instead of this. So I will just try to, so I am just going to try and maintain the 400 meter distance between the stops. And let's see if it's going to work. But what I want to do is I don't want to make the stops after each other with a too short distance, because it will just too much stop for an area. And also let's just assign some vehicles to the tram line. I will use specific config for this tram line, and I am going to use some Czechoslovak trams, which can be found in just literally almost every former Eastern Bloc cities. The famous Tatra Trams. I will use the Budapest versions of it, and this kind of KT85, which is present in Miskolc in Hungary, and the T5C5, which is present in Budapest, also in Hungary. And let's just start the simulation to see how the trams are going out for the line. If this depot is working, or wait a second. Wait a second, something is not okay here. Oh, okay. So it was just a random bug, I don't know what happened here. Now the depot is starting spawning trams. I don't know what was here. And what I want to also do is I just want to make this end stop here a 4-stop station with transport lines manager, because if you don't do this in TLM, the TLM has a feature where the trams and the vehicles just can skip a stop if there are no passengers want to take off and get on. And if you don't do this at the end station, what the hell, where is it? Not this, but the previous. No. So it is not going to work, okay? Oh, this stop. Okay, so if you're not doing, if you don't do this, what I did here, the tram will just keep the terminus station, and it will look like what the fuck if you look at it in the simulation. Okay. Now what I want to also do is I just want to decorate the tram stops with some props. So I will just use some shelters and props. I will use the LRT shelter as procedural object. I will use the class tram stop shelters, also converted into procedural objects. And these are actually two separate assets, because if you want to use the class tram stop shelters, you have to use the frame and the glass separatedly, because this is how the game works when you just want to make something transparent. So you cannot make a prop which is transparent and also not transparent at the same time. So you have to just use this kind of magic around, like you will just make one into two separate prop. And I want to drop down this kind of ticket machine. These are actually East German ticket machines, so I will just put down some ticket machine into the tram stops. So what I want to do is I just want to do at least one ticket machine into every tram stop. Well, not here. Okay, wrong stop. Okay, never mind. So I want to... Okay, let's just try to say it again. I want to build at least one ticket machine to every stop which is located in the downtown, and I also want to put down a ticket machine to every stop in the suburban areas like this. But I want to have ticket machines only in that stops which are just going and facing into the downtown direction. And also I want to put down some tram stop signs, because I just removed the stop signs, the ugly vanilla stop signs with BOB, this mod, the Bob mod, because I just find them too ugly for use. Okay, so let's just put here. Okay, it kinda looks like meh, but still works, still doing the work. So, yeah. And also let's just somehow get the ticket machine somehow out from that stop. And let's just copy and paste everything into this area. And this is the part where I will just be screwing around, just making the shelter and the stop sign perfectly aligned with the sidewalk of the platform. So I will just use the procedural object mod for this. So just edit, customization, and just do it like this. Okay, and also with the other asset. And also with the ticket machine. And the advantage of the procedural object and this kind of magic what you see here is that you have to just do it only once, because if you do it once, you can just do it and copy and paste it with move it to other locations, and it will just keep the aesthetic what you just made with procedural object. So this is why I will just use this. I will just use like this. Come on. And if the mod would, and if Move It would allow me to select what I want to select, I would be so happy. So this is what I am talking about. So let's just copy and paste everything. And voila, fast work. You can see that I did it only once, and it will just work. So for the downtown stops, I will just copy and paste this magic like here with this, and I will just put this stop like here. Well, turned around, of course, and I will also need the tram stop sign, which is here. And once you have done it, you only need to copy and paste it like magic. Oh, well, for these kind of network you don't have to copy and paste the tram stop sign, because it has actually a tram stop sign built in, which is not the ugly vanilla tram stop sign, so I'm kinda happy. So yeah, for this area I will just drop down two of this shelter. So now at least the city has some kind of public transportation with this functional tram line. Next episode I don't know what I will do. I think I will build some residential expansion here in this area outside of the downtown, in between the tram line and the housing estate. And yes, housing again, because we have a huge housing demand again or still. I don't know if it is again or still. And a little bit of medium demand for commercial zone, like we didn't build this commercial area here in the previous episode, and the depot just started to complain about everything that you can imagine. Mostly not enough workers, so I think I will just do the residential expansion before the commercial expansion. But anyway, I was Veladam01, thanks for watching this episode. I hope I will see you in the next one too. Instead of the usual ending cinematics in this episode, you will be given a tram ride through the city. So, thanks for watching, see you later, goodbye.